স্কুলে লগ ইন করা যায় ইউটিউবে কত লগ ইন করতে হবে লগ ইন করে স্কুল আইডি আচ্ছা
Good afternoon, students of class 7. I, on behalf of the English two teachers of class 7, I will be taking this class, the reading and the textual explanation of chapter 5 in your textbook, the Canterville Ghost. So kindly take your textbook and turn to this chapter. I will be reading the chapter and explaining it. I'm sure every one of us know what a ghost is. Some of us may believe in ghosts, some of us may not have believed in ghosts. Okay? But then this story is about this Otis family. Okay? They had come from America, they are Americans, and they have come to England to stay in this place called Canterville. It's a castle, alright? And this family consists of the father, the mother, and twins. They are the children, they are twins, okay? And this ghost, this particular ghost, okay, loves to play pranks on people whoever have come to stay in this castle, in this house. The ghost loves to play pranks on those people, alright? So that is why this castle is not inhabited by anyone. It was actually inhabited by a dead nobleman called Sir Simon de Canterville, and he loved, and he he died in this castle, and then he loves to haunt the people who comes to this castle. However, the Otis family were not afraid of this ghost. Very strange, alright? The whole family, from the father till the twins, they were not afraid of this ghost, okay? In fact, when the ghost used to walk around in the dark with the chains, clamped onto his wrists and his legs, and you know how ghosts are in the movies. They used to show ghosts used to roam around in the dark corridors, so and so forth. Mr. Otis, okay, the father, he had told him that his chains are making too much noise, so he has to apply oil called lubricator. And then when he left a blood stain, when the Canterville ghost left a blood stain on the carpet, okay, in the living room, Mrs. Otis calmly wiped away with the stain remover. Okay, she did not cry out in shock, or she was not afraid at all. She was like, oh, this one I can just remove it with a stain remover. So she calmly removed the stain with a stain remover. Then one night, the young Otis twins scared him with a ghost they had made out of a curtain and a cleaning brush and a turnip. Alright? So the twins also had a very good sense of humor. They also wanted to scare the ghost. Instead of the ghost trying to scare them, they tried to scare the ghost instead. What did they do? They took a big sheet, white sheet, all right, and then they used a cleaning brush and a turnip. If you know what is turnip, we call it mula in the local language, okay? So they used a turnip, a cleaning brush, and a big curtain, white curtain, and they created a ghost out of it, and they scared the Canterville ghost. So the story, okay, that we are going to do today, all right, that we're going to read today is the after that what happens. I hope you are with your book. We are in page 67, okay? All right, so please pay close attention to what I am going to read, and you also follow in your book. The next day, the ghost was very weak and tired. The terrible excitement of the last 4 weeks was beginning to have its effect. So it has been 4 weeks that the Otis family were not scared of the ghost. Whatever the ghost did, it did not affect them. Instead, they scared the ghost, okay? They made the life of the ghost very uncomfortable. So this was very tiring for him. He was very tired and very weak. His nerves were completely shattered, and he started at the slightest noise. So the ghost was already very scared. It is very normal that humans are supposed to be scared of ghosts, but here the ghost was scared of the Otis family, and at the slightest noise, okay, when he heard the slightest noise, he started to be scared. So this was the condition of the ghost. Page 68. For 5 days he kept his room, and at last made up his mind to give up the point of the blood stain on the library floor. If the Otis family did not want it, they clearly did not deserve it. So the ghost was like, this is enough, okay? I'm not going to scare them anymore. I am tired. I am fed up. It's tiring to scare them. So he gave up staining the carpet floor with blood, and instead he said that they don't deserve a ghost scaring them. Now in your book, okay, there is I would like to show you this kind of, this kind of curly circle is called a thought. Okay, if you read comic books, you will know this. All right. So the ghost is thinking. They are evidently people on a low material plane of existence and quite incapable of appreciating the symbolic value of sensuous phenomena. So the ghost started thinking in his room. Okay, he started thinking, these people are very different. They don't understand what is it to be scared. They don't get scared. I think they are not human beings. Okay, and then he said they don't appreciate the value of sensuous phenomena. That means when we say sensuous, we refer to the 5 senses, all right? Sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of smell, sense of feeling, all right, and the sense of touch. So he realized that this family, all right, they have no sense of being scared. Like their whole, their whole activity was in fact opposite to what he expected. He expected the Otis family to be scared, to run away, to shout, to shriek, to scream, but then no. They were very calm and they were very cool, alright? So they were not afraid of this Canterville ghost. However, it was his solemn duty to appear in the corridor once a week and to gibber from the large oriel window on the first and third Wednesday in every month, and he did not see how he could honorably escape from his obligations. So what he did was, he used to appear, okay, once a week in the corridor. So this was the duty of the Canterville ghost. Please take a note of this, students, alright? The Canterville ghost also has some duties. Just like you have duties, okay, at home, just like that, even the Canterville ghost has duties. What was his duty? First, to appear once a week in the corridor. Another duty, to gibber. Gibber means to show his teeth, okay, like this. Alright, to show his teeth from a large oriel window, a large window that is a circle, from the first and third, on the first and third Wednesday every month. And then he did not see how he could honorably escape. That means he did not want to, stop doing his duty. Alright, he wanted to do his duty. He felt like he was obligated. He was meant to do his duty. But then how can he do his duty now? They are not scared at all, okay? So he was very confused. It is quite true that his life had been very evil, but upon the other hand, he was most conscientious in all things connected with the supernatural. Now, if you look at your book, the word there, conscientious, means sincere towards one's work or duty. So this is a new word that we're going to learn today, all right? Conscientious means what? Sincere means very, very faithful towards one's work or duty. So the ghost here was very evil. Yes, it is true. He's a very bad ghost. But he was also very sincere towards his duty, especially with connection to the supernatural. Supernatural means something that is not natural, something that is not common, all right? Unusual things. For the next 3 Saturdays, accordingly, he traversed the corridor as usual between midnight and 3 o'clock. So this is the usual timing when the ghosts become very active, okay? Between midnight, that means 12 at night till 3 a.m. in the morning. It was this time when he would go around the corridor, okay? And he was very, very punctual at this time, taking every possible precaution against being seen, being either heard or seen. But at the same time, he was also scared that the family would wake up. Okay? The ghost was very scared that the family would wake up. Why? Because if they do, he will be the one to be scared. Alright? So he did his duty, but he tiptoed. He quietly walked through the corridor. He was so scared that he might wake up the family. He did not want to be seen, nor did he want to be heard. He was careful to use the rising sun lubricator for oiling his chains. Now, remember the father, okay, Mr. Otis, had told the ghost one time that your chains are very noisy. You must oil your chains. It disturbs me in my sleep when you walk around the corridor. So what did the ghost do? He actually listened to Mr. Otis and then he oiled his chain. You can see in the picture here, okay? He's very busy in his room oiling his chains, alright? The chains that he used to carry around when he walks in the corridor that would sound like clang, 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 okay? So he oiled his chains. What is the name of the oil? It's called a rising sun lubricator. From where did he get this? He had taken this one night while the family were at dinner by slipping into Mr. Otis's bedroom. So where did he find the oil? He found the oil in the bedroom of Mr. Otis. He felt a little humiliated at first, but afterwards was sensible enough to see that there was a great deal to be said for the invention, and to a certain degree it served his purpose. So at first he was feeling very shy that he actually listened to a human being, alright? He's not supposed to listen to a human being. He's not supposed to listen to a human being. Is it okay? Huh? He was not supposed to be scared of the human being or listen to them. But then here, all right, he finally thought that yes, I think they are right. I think it's okay for me to listen once. And then he was really happy that the oil actually worked, okay? The invention here, the word here, invention, is referred to that lubricator. What was the name of the lubricator? The rising sun, all right? So it was actually very good that he used that, because now when he walked around in the corridor with all those chains, it did not make noise anymore. Still, in spite of everything, he was not left unmolested. Strings were continually being stretched across the corridor. And on one occasion, while dressed for the part of Black Isaac or the huntsman of Hogley Woods, he met with a severe fall through treading on a butter slide which the twins had constructed. Now, apart from that, okay, apart from these noisy chains and all those gibbering on the windows and everything, he was still, all right, irritated, teased by the Otis family, especially the twins. Okay, they love teasing the ghost. One time they pull a string across the door from one door to the other door, okay, and as he was walking at night, he fell down as he tripped on the string. In another time, he dress, okay? He loves to dress up. The Canterville ghost loves to dress up. So one time he dressed up like Black Isaac, or Huntsman of Hogley Woods. This is a very scary character. So when he dressed up like that, trying to scare the Otis family, they actually got the better of him. Why? Because they had already poured, you know, butter slide on the floor, and he had walked onto that butter slide and he had a great big fall, just like Humpty Dumpty. This last insult so enraged him that he resolved to make one final effort to assert his dignity and social position. He was so humiliated. He was so embarrassed, okay? He felt so angry, at the same time so shy, that as a ghost, he cannot scare them. Instead, they are the one teasing him and playing pranks on him. So he was very angry. And he determined to visit the insolent young Etonians the next night. Okay, so he finally decided, no, this is enough. I am not going to fall for their pranks, fall for their tricks anymore. I am going to do this once and for all. Okay, and so he decided that the next night he is going to visit the Otis twins for that. In his celebrated character of Reckless Rupert, or the Headless Earl. Now, it was, remember that the Canterville ghost loves to dress up, okay, to scare people or to scare whoever lives in the house. So this time he said, I am going to dress in my best costume, and that is Reckless Rupert, or Headless Earl. That means he is going to dress in a costume without the head. Okay, he is going to remove his hat and he is going to walk without hat. It took him fully 3 hours to make his preparation. Look at the picture in page 71. Okay, you can see that he is prepared. He is preparing himself. All right, he put on his costume, put on his belt and boots. All right, and finally he is ready. At last everything was ready and he was pleased with his appearance, and he removed his hat. Okay, you can look at the picture here. Exactly at 1:15, all right, he put down his hat and he started moving out of his room without his hat. Would you be scared if you see a headless ghost? Well, you can answer that in the comments section. At 1:15, he glided out of the wainscoting and crept down the corridor. On reaching the room occupied by the twins, he found a door just ajar. So he glided, that means he slowly, very smoothly, gliding means slowly and moving smoothly, okay, towards the corridor, and then he went to the Otis twins' bedroom, okay, the children, their bedroom, and he saw that the door was slightly open, means ajar here means slightly open. Wishing to make an effective entrance, he flung it wide open. And he was like, okay, they were so shocked, they were gasping. So suddenly he opened the window, all right, he wanted to scare them. Now children, if you remember, we being scared, or you know, being scared by somebody else, or you scaring your parents sometimes, so just like that, he suddenly opened the door and he wanted to scare them. But then what happened? Look at the next page. Sploosh, ha ha, he, and he was like, ah, okay. He was very angry, because what happened when he suddenly opened the door, a jar of water went flying on his, okay, aimed for his head, but because he didn't have the head, instead it went right down on his neck. And then the twins were laughing. They were like, ha ha ha, he, okay. They knew that the ghost was coming and they were ready for him, and he was the one who was tricked. He was fooled. He got so angry, he said, argh! And then the shock to his nervous system was so great that he ran back to his room as hard as he could go. All right, he was so shocked that he ran back to his room. The next day he laid up with a severe cold. The only thing that at all consoled him in the whole affair was the fact that he had not brought his hat with him, for had he done so, the consequences might have been very serious. So the next day he did not come out, okay, he did not go and gibber at the window or walked in the corridor, because why? He had cold. The ghost was suffering from cold, okay, and he was actually glad that he did not take his hat, because had he taken the hat, his hat along with him, then the consequences, means the results of that, you know, that big jar of water flying over him would have been worse. Now he gave up all hope of ever frightening the rude American family. At this point, the Canterville ghost was surrendering. Okay, he said that I cannot bear it anymore, and contented himself as a rule with creeping about the passages. So now the only thing he thought was like, oh, I will just do my duty, and that's all I can do. It's no point scaring them anymore. I am done. The final blow he received occurred on the 19th of September. He had gone downstairs to the great entrance hall, feeling sure that there, at any rate, he would be quite unmolested. And he was amusing himself by making satirical remarks on the large Saroni photographs of the United States minister and his wife, which had now taken the place of the Canterville family pictures. So one night, okay, he went to the library, all right, and he was looking at the pictures on the wall. And on the wall, the pictures of the Otis family was hanging, all right, and he was feeling okay that, yeah, tonight I hope my life will be peaceful. Tonight I think I'll be able to do my duty without being tricked or without being insulted or humiliated, okay, without being tripped or falling or down. So he was very peaceful, and then he was actually making jokes with the pictures that were hanging on the wall, okay. He was dressed for the character of Jonas the Graveless, or the corpse snatcher of Chertsey Barn, one of his most remarkable impersonations, and one which the Cantervilles had every reason to remember, as it was the real origin of their quarrel with their neighbor, Lord Rufford. So here he loved to dress up himself. Remember, I said that before. So he was dressed as Jonas the Graveless, all right. He had names for all his costumes, and the other word for that was corpse snatcher, or corpse snatcher of Chertsey Barn. So he dressed himself up like that. It's a very nice dress, okay. It's black in color, and he carries a spade. You know what's a spade? A spade which you use to dig the ground, okay, and a lamp. So this was his costume. So he was roaming around looking at the pictures and making, you know, jokes and comments on the pictures. And he also had remembered that when he dressed up as Jonas, okay, the Graveless, or corpse snatcher of Chertsey Barn, everybody used to talk about this particular costume because it was really, really scary. It was about 2:15 o'clock in the morning, and as far as he could ascertain, no one was stirring. As he was strolling towards the library, however, to see if there were any traces left on the bloodstain, suddenly, boo! Ah! Seized with a panic which under the circumstances was only natural, he rushed for the staircase. Okay, so it was about 2:15, that means 2:15, okay, 2:15 means 2:15 in the morning, and he was very sure that the library was empty, nobody was there. And he also went to check the blood stain on the carpet. It was not there because it was removed by Mrs. Otis, okay, with the stain remover. So he was just strolling around. Strolling here means walking in a very relaxed manner, and suddenly the twins came out of nowhere, and then they scared him. They said, boo, okay, and he got so scared he dropped his lamp, he dropped his spade, and he rushed towards the staircase. So what do you think? Do you think the Canterville ghost continued to scare the Otis family, or he would have just stayed in his room? Okay, so I would love to see your comments in the comment section. And also, I hope you have understood the story. All right, it is it's a story that talks about a ghost which is actually scared of human beings. All right, and in this particular story, it's not just any human being. It is the Otis family, an American family, and Americans are known to be not scared of anything. They are known to be adventurous people. They're known to be people who are curious, okay, who always wants to find out something or the other. All right, so here also they were not scared of the ghost. Instead, they scared the ghost. All right, so I hope all of you are clear with this story. If you have any questions, you can WhatsApp. All right, and regarding the questions at the back, later on it will be provided to you. Okay, so with this, I hope we can Yeah, 15 more minutes. Okay. Now, just to sum up, all right, I would like you to note down. Please read. Okay. Yes, that is true. He did not have the right, he did not have the guts, okay, the strength to scare them anymore. Very good. He must have lived peacefully in his room, yes. If you were the ghost, I think you would have done the same, all right? Who would like to be humiliated?
One of them told that I think he's continuing to scare.
That is also true. He must have continued to scare them, but then do you think he would have succeeded in scaring them? Because how many times was he scared by the Otis family? Can you tell me? Let us try to sum up. First, they put, first Mr. Otis said that you must, oil your chains, okay? So that's the first time they were not scared. Second time, when he put that blood stain on the carpet, on the floor, it was just removed by stain remover very calmly by Mrs. Otis, okay? Number 3, the twins, they put string on the corridor so that when he walks at night, he trips and then he falls, all right? Number 4, they put this butter slide, okay, and a kind of oil on the floor where he slipped and he knocks his head. Number 5, can you tell me number 5? Yes, the 5th time was when he went to scare them in their room, and instead what fell on him? Yes, a jar full of water, okay? As a result, he got cold and cough, okay? He would have gotten fever also had he taken his hat with him, but he left his hat, so that was the good part, okay? And then the 6th time was when he was in the library and they actually scared him out of his wits, and this was the last and the final blow, okay? Yes, 6 times. And I would also like you to remember the different costumes that he loved to dress up as, okay? If you remember the different costumes, first he loves to dress up as what? Black Isaac, okay? He dressed up as Black Isaac, or the Huntsman of Hogley Woods. That's the first costume. Second costume was Reckless Rupert, or the Headless Earl, okay? Reckless Rupert or Headless Earl. And third costume was his best costume, okay? And that was Jonas the Graveless, or Corpse Snatcher of Chertsey Barn. So remember, the Canterville Ghost has 3 exquisite, okay, perfect costumes to scare people away, but none of it worked on the Otis family. And do you remember what was the name of the lubricant, the oil that Mr. Otis had suggested to the Canterville Ghost to apply on his chains? Yes, the Rising Sun, okay? It's a very easy lubricator name, okay? The Rising Sun. If it was in India, maybe we would have suggested mustard oil, or maybe Dabur Amla, or any other, okay? Or maybe castor oil, or Fortune Refined Tail, okay? But then the Rising Sun lubricator was the only thing he could find, that also in the bedroom of Mr. Otis, and that's what he used to apply on his chains in order that his chains will not rattle anymore when he walks in the corridor. And the reason why is that because it used to disturb the Otis family, so they had actually told him to apply oil. Can I wind up? Do you have any questions? I would like to take some questions. We have 7 minutes. Yeah. If you have any questions, you can shoot them. I will be giving you some word meanings for you to learn. Remember what was the new word that we learned today? Consensus, okay? Consensus is the new word that we learned today. What was the meaning? It is sincere towards one's work or duty. Consensuous. Number 2, learn this word, phenomenon. Okay, these word meanings are there in your book. All right, consensuous, this one we have already learned today, so I'm sure you know the meaning. Phenomenon. All right, then third one is called humiliated, fourth insolent, and fifth impersonation. So please learn these word meanings. All right, any questions? Which one? It's in the book. The answers for these words are in the book. I hope you have your book with you. Okay, the answers for these word meanings are in your book, and I think you're smart enough to find the meanings of these words. Okay. We will be winding up in 2 minutes. Any questions? Any part of the text that you did not understand? The meaning of blood stain means, let me give you an example. Suppose you are eating, say, an ice cream, okay? And the ice cream is chocolate flavored. All right, so you're wearing your school uniform, you're eating your ice cream, and then part of the ice cream drips on your uniform. So that drip part that is on your uniform, that is called stain. So that will be called ice cream stain. So what will be blood stain? Yes, blood stain is actually the drop of blood on the floor which has dried up, okay, and has put stain. The fifth one is called impersonation. I-M-P-E-R-S-O-N-A-T-I-O-N. Impersonation. Can you please answer the, what is the, please read for me.
Anybody's answering with the answer of good answers question 4. I think from book.
Insolent. Yes. The meaning of the word insolent is in your textbook.
I think from books, is there anything good answers?
Okay. Number 4. Okay. Number 4, insolent. In your book, page 70, it is written, rude, showing an arrogant lack of respect. Okay. So the meaning of insolent here means not showing respect to anyone. Just like the Otis twins, they did not show respect to the ghost. Okay. They were supposed to be scared of him, but no, they were not scared of him. Okay, instead they talked back to him, they scared him. So he found it very insolent. He found them very insolent. That means he found them very rude. Thank you, students. I hope to see you next time. Stay safe, stay at home, okay, and stay healthy.